Symetra Tour player Molly Aronsson with us to talk about the Florida's Natural Charity Classic. And Molly, this is the third event of the year, so sort of starting to get into the flow for the year. What's your sense of where you are and how ready are you for this event?
Pretty excited. I didn't feel ready for the first two events. I think everyone would say that, though. You have a long off season and you're out there working really hard, and maybe you haven't played some tournaments in a while, so you never really know what to expect. But I actually felt really calm going into the first two events, and I think we've had a nice few weeks here to get back on track and train and see what our strengths and weaknesses are. So I'm looking forward to this week. I think the course fits my game pretty well, and I played here actually 5 years ago in the Futures Q School, so it's actually nice to be back.
And you said you spent some time in the state of Florida at Ledbetter. What was your experience like there and playing in the state of Florida?
Yeah, I've been in Florida for quite a while. I'm in Sarasota now, actually, in the off season, and I was in Orlando the last few years. Ledbetter, it feels like a long time ago, but it was great. It was a lot different from Vermont, where I grew up. I think the people take the weather for granted here. It's very good for golf. It's nice to be by the ocean, and I think over the last year or so I've allowed myself to go to the beach more and enjoy the weather rather than just focusing on golf. So I'm quite happy here.
You have a really interesting sort of backstory about how you got into golf, and sort of golf was on the back burner for a while for you, and hockey was your number one. Tell us about growing up and playing a lot of hockey and how you ultimately came to be a professional golfer.
Yeah, I started playing hockey when I was about 3 or 4, pretty much when I could walk. And I think, honestly, I think about it almost every day. My heart was really involved in the game, and it's a lot different than golf in a good way. I mean, as a goalie, you don't think, it's all reacting. So every time I'm out here, I'm working to make my golf game a little bit more like that. But yeah, I played with boys starting at age 4, and then at about 16, I was forced into women's hockey, which I love, and I totally support women's hockey. In fact, the girls are way better now than they were back then. But as a goalie, I just liked the fast pace of the boys' game, and it sort of led me into wanting to try something else. And I always saw myself as a professional athlete, so I figured golf would be the best way to go. My grandfather played until he was 95, so that was a big inspiration to me. I mean, it's a game that you can play your whole entire life.
Do you feel like there are some similarities from being potentially a goalie that you can sort of transition into golf, or is there no similarity at all?
More so, see, the goalies shoot lefty, so if you slide your blocker hand up, it's unfortunately, if I was righty in hockey, there's, I think, a huge similarity to the ball striking. I know there's a lot of NHL guys that are scratch handicaps and are really good ball strikers. But no, as a goalie, not really. I think there are some things that you learn from team sports that are great for golf. And I would tell anyone with kids growing up, they ask me all the time, my daughter's 6, my son is 8, should I get them into golf right now? Should they be playing other sports? And I honestly tell them, no, let them play team sports. Let them try a bunch of things. I mean, golf is great, but at the end of the day, if you really love the game and you want to play professionally, it's something you have to choose on your own. And growing up playing hockey and soccer and other team sports, you learn to be a team player and care about other people and less focus on yourself. So I think it's good for everybody.
Molly, when you think about this week's event, give me sort of a key for you. What has to happen for you to play very well this week? What are you really focusing on?
For me, honestly, it's mostly been my mental game. I feel like I've always had the talent. So these last few days, I'm just slowly getting myself ready for an event again. For some reason, I get pretty nervous the few days beforehand, and I've noticed it's actually a good thing. I used to worry about that, and now it's almost like I'm getting all the negative energy out, and then I step out there and I feel good to go. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think if I feel pretty good with my ball striking, it's going to be a good week. The course is set up for someone who's, if you're hitting your irons well and your approach shots tight, I think you'll make a lot of birdies. So.
All right, before we let you go, favorite NHL team?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to go with the Bruins. Second place is the Red Wings.
All right, thanks a lot, Molly.
Thank you.